Excellent program lined up for you today. Volothamp modulus tautology. Y'all should be used to me by now. You know, I got a whole. I'm closing in on I think 400. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I don't know if I'm gonna hit it by the end of the year, but I'm staying optimistic. If I can do as many of these that I can during a day, I can hit my goal. But at the same time, I have to, take my time. I think, and so that's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing. Today, I got two good videos for you. Um, I'm going ADOS, American Descendant of Slavery. 1619 is the date that I'm using. 1619, and the figure that I'm going to use is Tone Antonio Moore. So I'm gonna share a little 5 minutes of Antonio Moore, and then I'm gonna share 5 minutes of foundational Black American. I'm gonna use Tyreek today. Um, you know, it should be self-explanatory. He's the one that's getting the most flack. So I'm gonna share a little bit of Tyreek. I normally share Professor Black Truth. I haven't shared that much Jason Black, but there's a ton of them that I use and everything on YouTube because we are YouTubers. I don't like using that terminology. I'm just starting out. Like I said, I'm just closing in on 400 videos. Most of my videos are my family having fun. I've been using this kind of a game show, but I'm not a game show. I'm a pro. I can program, and that's what I see. I see that we've been programmed by the TV stations. There's an old classic Public Enemy song called "She Watched Channel Zero." She watched, 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 she watched zero. And in that song, Public Enemy Chuck D and them is trying to explain how we're programmed by the TVs and the TV shows and everything. Um, Shout out to Big C because he's trying to figure out why everybody's cheating on each other and all this adultery going on and it's like the Young and the Restless, right? That one of the longest TV shows of all time, and I used to watch it a little bit. Shout out to I have to give a shout out to Amy Duckett for that one because that's what me and Amy used to watch all the time. Um, you know what I mean, and rap about. It was my way of getting to know. Cause I don't think B watched it. Um, and her the other Buddha tribes, Claudie and Les and Kia and shout out to all the Buddha tribe. Who else is Buddha tribe? We'll get back to who the Buddha tribe is and all that good stuff too. Even Amy. Um, and how we used to just party and have fun at KU and I get back one day. I'm looking at the things and homecoming I know is closing in. This is my 30th year anniversary, like when I graduated. So we'll see how that goes and trying to get things in order. But like I said, I'm jumping straight into this though. This is why I say I can lose track sometimes when I start rapping about high school or college or even elementary school. Shout out to because I'm still that's most of my friends on my friends list is people from uptown Philadelphia. We all know each other. We know what block we from and all that good stuff. And we losing people every day and especially during the pandemic we lost a lot of our family and I mean prayers to their families and all of them and but we still moving. Hip hop is still living. We still want to get it done. So but like I was saying, I'm gonna do a little bit of ADOS and a little Foundation of Black American. ADOS is more Antonio Moore and Yvette. I can't remember Yvette's last name off the top of my head. Foundation of Black American. I've already ran across a couple of them, but the two that I'm going to use today, and the topic matter is going to be the same. It is a land, language, and law. Whose land? What language and what laws are we trying to establish as I mean, that's what we're trying to do is build new political parties, right? So, Foundation of Black American is not a political party, but it's an identity. Independence is the party that we're trying to work on. That's why when I'm hearing people saying foundational Americans, now you're talking about a union between people that are, you know, constitutionalists, pretty much, like a constitutional liberation. Um, I like to say freedom, justice, and equality movement. In order the way to achieve it, the only way to achieve it, the shout out to the RZA, is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So we're gonna work on all that. But I'm just gonna jump right into it. Antonio Moore one is not that long. It's only like 5 minutes, and then I'll do like a halftime show, and then we'll jump into a little bit of Tyreek 5 minutes, and then the game. I'm going to do a little ogre battle today, but I'll show that right after. I'll share that right after Antonio Moore here. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. That was 5 minutes. I went overtime on that right there. But it's to catch up people that don't follow me like they like they should be. One FBA is what the language that we're speaking or we're trying to generate for everybody. I'm gonna shut the music off first, and then I'm going to shut my mic, and then it'll pop right up.
How you doing today? This is Attorney Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks, looking to have a discussion today on Trump, on how Donald Trump came into office and how we're missing the discussion. I just want to get into the discussion because I feel like, in my view, there's really two prongs to how he became president. First and foremost is the white female vote and the white vote at large. Secondly is Kamala Harris deciding based on her own ego to run for office, despite the fact that all the data showed that she would lose to Trump. And then she ran a horrible campaign, in my view. I feel like we should be livid with the white vote and we should be livid with Kamala Harris. And we're not mad enough with either. Let's get right into the discussion. So, this is Tone Talks again. And part of what we're seeing with this discussion, and again, you can call in 310-388-3499. I want to hear from you. I want to hear the discussion. But what we're seeing, in my view, is in many ways, what Kamala Harris did is being totally ignored. And when I say what she did, it's not my view. It was the general consensus view that she could not beat Trump. And some people that are watching might be confused because they didn't understand that politically. And I'm going to make it clear. So when she announced, when she was allowed, or they were deciding whether she was going to be the nominee when Biden dropped out, the New York Times puts out this article, how these 10 Democrats would fare against Trump, rated by our columnists. Now, I myself already had a view based on my political analysis of Kamala for the better part of 4 to 5 years prior. She was not a competent candidate against Trump. I believe, as I said before it even happened, she was running a bad campaign for president initially on her own. I apologize. And what happened was in South Carolina, there was a deal struck, and I said this before South Carolina happened, that took her out of the South Carolina primary and the trade-off that she was going to get chosen for vice president. But at no point did she show the competency to be a strong national candidate. And that's my view. And here we are where my view got actually proven out by the fact that she got so little support, both by so many different demographics we'll get into a second, but particularly white women. And as a result of her running a very incompetent campaign, we now have Trump as president. I've been live in a second. I hope that this Sunday, I know it's a lot going on with football and all, that we're able to have this discussion and really look at that white female vote, look at that white vote, even look at the black male vote and get some real context, because I believe some trickery is going on and leaving out the raw numbers. Because they're like, when you look at the raw numbers of black male voters, they didn't impact the election the way you think. In addition, by choosing Kamala, someone who had black men fighting fires when they were supposed to be released, who isn't American descendant of slavery, you put people at a very, very precarious position of their choice of basically, I would feel like in many ways taking their choice away of a true liberal candidate that showed a long history of being liberal on politics. So we look at Kamala, how these 10 Democrats would fare against Trump. Again, this is the New York Times that posted this. You have Kamala against Warnock, I think Whitmer, so many different candidates. I think Newsom's on here, and she's the worst choice. So for the DNC to choose her, and I'm going to read you a couple of blurbs from two of the 10 writers there at the New York Times to give you context. She had an electable of 4.6 out of 10. She had an exciting 5.8 out of 10 based on these 10 writers slash experts reviews of things. Yet they chose her without a primary, a shortened primary. Yet Biden, in addition, decided to drop out late. This affected our total ability to hold Trump to the wall as a felon, not a former felon, as a felon. There's no way that Trump should be president other than running somebody as incompetent as this, in my view. But here we are, and he is president. And you have to go back to go forward. You have to go back to that moment where we could have chosen a stronger candidate, where we could have chosen any of these people to run for office. And I believe most of them would have beat Trump. That's my view. He wasn't a hard beat, but if you run in your campaign, and we'll get into it in a second, like Kamala did, it becomes a hard beat. Harris has a feeble electoral track record. She struggled badly in 2020 and barely before then. This is Ross Barkin from the New York Times. She won her first attorney general race in California, but she'll benefit from a likely unified Democratic establishment, and she can forcibly press the case against Trump on abortion rights. I want you to remember that she won her attorney general's race on the back of truancy laws and instituting some right-wing policy here in California. We've done numbers of shows on it if you're confused. There's no question that she was the champion of incarceration behind truancy laws. You can watch my interview with Sheree Peoples. So now we have this candidate that has a lackluster history when it comes to liberal policy running as the left-wing candidate.
There it is, there it is, there it is. And moral to the story about Antonio Moore and why I don't really bang with ADOS, right? Him and Yvette, is because they're Democrats, right? They're on the mindset of the secret to winning is being Democrats. So he didn't vote for Obama. He didn't vote for, Biden. And like he just said, he thought Kamala was a weak candidate. So I don't know if he voted for Kamala or but with the other ones, with Obama and Biden, he did what's called down ballot voting. Meaning he didn't check the box next to their names, but he checked the box for all the other Democrats that he liked. Pretty much, I guess. I'm independent and whatever. Like we'll go over policies and all that other stuff later on, which is kind of what's his name, Dennis, Uncle D. What's his name? Well, he'd be Brother D to me. But I shared Dennis before also, and Dennis has a similar thing. Dennis is a Democrat, but he voted for Trump because he preaches vote your policies. But they're both him. But Dennis is more foundational Black American. He respects ADOS 1619 date, and he talks about it. He really doesn't talk about 1526 date. That's more Tariq's thing. So we'll get more into what Tariq and Jason Black and Professor Black Truth, why we collectively came together as that date 1526. What does it mean? What happened during that date? As we explore the history more and more. All right. But that's it in a nutshell. Why, like I still follow Antonio, but all that ADOS and that's what the one congresswoman came up and she started talking that she's an American descendant of slavery, and that's a beautiful thing, and But when you picking just one date and one event, when B1 means that on day 0, the Negro native was already here. Like that dark-skinned native was already here. And that lineage is in me. It's probably in Antonio too. And it's in a lot or most of what we call Black Americans. So I'm gonna dive into that right after I share this video of Tariq. And I'll get back into the rest of this Ogre battle, and because I don't want to take this more than a half hour. Y'all know how I do. But I hope y'all understood that. And you know, I mean, it's no beef towards me and Antonio, but all that ADOS is like we picking that one day, we picking that one event, and they're using it against us. And then this Tyreek's share is how I'm going to explain how they're using it against us. All right, so give me one moment to share the next video, and let me cut this off here, video capture and all that good stuff, you know. So, and the video will come on right after I finish rapping.
Subscribe. Darling Radio. Like and subscribe.
To Puerto Rico, my blood, my soul, my heart. I carry the flag in my heart. I carry the island in my veins. When I wore those colors on my chest, I wasn't just playing basketball. I was honoring the heritage. I was honoring my father. I was honoring every Puerto Rican who's ever had to fight twice as hard to get as far. Puerto Rico, you gave me fire, you gave me soul, you gave me home. We are proud, we are powerful, we are present. This Hall of Fame moment belongs to the island, it belongs to us.
All right, round of applause to you. Welcome to the Tap In. I am Tariq. Round of applause in respect to the law. Glad to have everybody in here. We're ready to tap in and chop it up like we always do, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a nice retweet. That's first, off rip. Give me a nice fly retweet. Let everybody know that we are indeed live. And before I start chopping it all up, let me give some shout outs to some of the regulars in here. I see Sweets, Ani Asaru, Little Old Me, Amin X. We have KD. We have Brother Martin from Brazil. DeLauren Dior in the building. We have Ty Powell. We have Hip Hop Purist. We have Miss Skyline, Chrissy. We have Diego, Brother Robbie Blue, the lovely Stephanie. We have Hoodoo, Brother Mel Rose, Brother Cleveland. We got Ryan Locks, and we got FBA Furball in the building. So shout out to you guys. And we will take calls early. We will take calls shortly. First thing I got to talk about, and I discussed this earlier on my YouTube live, but we're going to tackle it some more. We got to get into it. Carmelo Anthony. Oh, Carmelo Anthony. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony. Got in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And a lot of people are talking about Carmelo Anthony's speech. He got him a big win in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And he got up there and did his speech. And he pulled one of them Zoe Saldanas. He became super Latino. Boy, he got up there and went on and on about Puerto Rico, and he's Puerto Rican, and he's Afro-Latino, and Puerto Rico runs through his veins, and oh, he sprinkles Goya powder all over everything. It was just, he turned into Carlos Santana up there. He became a super Latino while giving his acceptance speech. And family, we've always said this. I cannot reiterate this enough. Boy, the minute these folks get any kind of win, I mean, any kind of win, they get a win, they start delineating and emphasizing whatever non-FBA ancestry they have. People go out of their way to delineate, and that's cool. Just don't complain when we do it. That's my issue. Do not complain when we do it. And here's the kicker with Carmelo Anthony. He's half foundational Black American. His mother is FBA. his mother is FBA, and from what I saw, I think she was in the audience, and she was looking kind of funny style. He's doing all of this Puerto Rican shit. He's shouting out Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico this, Puerto Rico that, and she's looking in the audience like, okay, I was up here raising your ass up here in the ghetto, shit. Because the thing about Carmelo Anthony, his father's Puerto Rican, but his father died of like cancer when Carmelo was 2 years old. So Carmelo did not grow up in a Puerto Rican household. From what I understand, I know he was born in Brooklyn, but then they moved to Baltimore. Where my NBA fans, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is the case. I think he kind of didn't he grow up in Baltimore or live in Baltimore for a minute. So all of this super Puerto Rican stuff, where is that coming from? He's talking like he's Jennifer Lopez, the way he's talking. Like he was just immersed in Puerto Rican culture.
There it is, you know. That's all I needed to share. Fair use. I'm going to put a link in the description like I normally do. And so y'all can check out the full episodes of Tone and Tyreek. And you know, listen and, you know, get your own opinions from the source. I just felt as though I had to share that because Tone, you know, like he was saying, Carmelo Anthony is a unique person in this discussion, because when you look at what, you know, when you look at the gods on the earth, the Islam movement, the Clarence 13X, the you know, Malcolm X was before Clarence, what tragically happened with Clarence 13X as well. But Clarence 13X is the father of the God and the earths. And I mean, there it is right there. Like his teachings is that the mother is the earth. So if his mother is the earth, his mother is the New York African American, and his father was the, you know, immigrant Puerto Rican, right? His mother is the earth, right? So he's a foundational Black American too, right? Now y'all want to say TWO or TOO, right? and or TO, right? Like which version of two are we using in description of his lineage, right? So the power of his father being from Puerto Rico supersedes his mother being a foundational Black American, or what would be an American descendant of slavery. You know, how deep is her roots in the discussion going back to B1, which is year 0, where dark natives lived here in this country, right? When the Messiah walked the earth, dark natives were already living here. I mean, there it is, right? Or this land was completely barren at that time as well. Are these the discussions that we're trying to really have when the Homo sapien has walked the planet allegedly for over 300,000 years, and we only on year 2026. So therein is somewhere the psychology, philosophy, or scientific, either it's ideology or methodology in discovering the mathematics of what really happened on year 0, right? The origin, should I say, right? The origin is 0, and then how many different dimensions are we using? Like a one-dimensional timeline starts, you know what I mean, has prehistory, and then we're in the after, the AD, the after history, right? I suppose to know. So this game here, Ogre Attack, and I can go on and on about, you know, what you just saw, and yeah, you know me, I already shared videos on that. I just wanted to start with this Ogre battle because this is actually the second game. So I'm gonna do another video on the first game, which is Ogre battle. This is Tactics Ogre. This one came out right after, and this one is more of a chess-like game, where the other one is more of a I got to think of the correct terminology. But I wanted to highlight the seer, the SEER, the main seer of the, like, you know, you have a party of people as I'm scrolling through the thing, and this guy here, Warren, is the main seer. Like, he's the elder guy. He's like the he's the Obi-Wan Kenobi for Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? See, now I'm talking Star Wars, right? But the Ganondorf, for what is Ganondorf in? Ganondorf is Lord of the Rings? Yeah, Lord of the Rings. He's the Ganondorf. Who else do we have? Oh, Harry Potter. He's the professor, right, of Harry Potter. That's that unique character that's the main teacher, should I say. So this guy Warren is the main teacher, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna share a little bit of the original game with Warren and everything, and some of the tactics, and I'm gonna start sharing more of the gameplay of it and the mythos and how it compares to other role-playing games, etc., etc. But I just wanted to start here just to give it a little, I should be switching out of this, right? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, my mic is on. Let me switch to this screen right here, because I'm at 26 minutes. Let me cut this on. And I said more than enough. I hope y'all appreciated the show. Like I said, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Send $1 to my Cash App if you learned something today, and help if you want to help out. Because I do need, new equipment, etc., etc. Everything helps. Subscribing helps. I'm closing in on 80 subscribers. Oh no, 75. I'm closing in on 75 subscribers on YouTube. I'm sharing these also on Facebook. I'm closing in on whatever it is on Facebook. Trying to get to 1,000 followers on Facebook still. And there it is. What else can I do in here? Let me come out of here and so this is my next battle here. I got to go here for my next battle, and we'll go over the battle and the battle plan and the lyrics of it and all that good stuff too, and But that's it in a nutshell. What else can I say? Oh, let's do some lyrics. And we still working on that Rakim. Knowledge will begin until I finish this song, cause the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. You sweat as you step about to get hype, or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You physically here with me, but how could you tell if it's meant to be hip-hop if you're not mentally as well? Love God, our Father, all the time. Hip-hop life, one love, one love. Be happy just to have just one love. As God is love, hip-hop is life, time is, I like to say, holy. Money, that ain't nothing more than a fourth dimensional illusion, really doesn't exist. Because hip-hop is the art of making the most out of life. You can call it economics if you want, but in the end, it's still about one. God is understood. Peace and happiness to you. See you again soon.